unless you
Like,
went to
yeah, I
Alaska
saw
and caught a
something.
40-pound halibut, like I don't want.
I'm not impressed. Yeah, dude, we just got back from Tahoe.
Summited a 10,000-foot mountain, 13-hour drive.
Got there at 2 a.m., just went straight up, did some paddleboarding, did some cliff jumping. It was a good time.
It was a great time.
All right, guys, welcome back to the RoommateTV podcast.
Today's guest is the first female to make an appearance on the RoommateTV podcast. She is the assistant marketing consultant for a marketing agency here in Spokane, and she is an avid Tinder user. Please welcome Jalen Martin.
Wow, thank you. What an introduction. I didn't know I was the first female to be on here.
You
are.
That's exciting.
We've called girls, but you're the first actual person to come on that is a female.
Damn.
So you should be honored, probably.
I feel pretty honored right now, not gonna lie.
No, we're glad to have you. Avid Tinder users, huh?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I consider myself quite the Tinder pro. I literally pay for Tinder. Like I have like the upgraded subscription to it. So I'm on there quite a bit.
How much is that?
I honestly, it's too much. I think I pay $15 a month for it.
What does it like do differently?
It basically just it lets you see the people that have liked you, first of all. So you can like scroll through and like kind of like gaze over people instead of having to swipe through each person's profile.
It's like more efficient.
Yeah, you can undo things. I can like turn people's like red, like you can pay to like have your red receipts on so that if you like message someone on Tinder, you can pay to like see if they've already read it. But I don't do that part of it. I pay so that people can't do that even if they pay for it. Like,
oh, so you like block that?
Yeah.
So how much money a year do you spend on Tinder?
I really need to look into it
month?
and cancel it because I think I just did it for like a free trial and then I kind of got addicted and then
Yeah.
It probably is way better with it though. Like it probably makes it way easier.
It is way easier, but yeah. I mean, the end goal is to not be on Tinder at all, so.
So hopefully you won't have to pay for it much
That's why
longer.
you have it, right?
Yeah. Just speeding up the process.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's all about, guys. Invest in yourselves.
Yeah.
So you just really don't want people to see that you read their message? You just like, you feel bad like leaving them on read?
Yeah, I mean, half my like joy of Tinder is just being able to like match with people and see what they say to me, and I don't really have an interest. It sounds so bad because I don't really have an interest in messaging them back.
Because it's like these guys are like they're like, frick, what am I gonna say to this girl?
And
but then you're just like, oh, he said this.
And I know that they're sitting there and they're like, oh gosh, what am I going to say? And the decisions that they make, like their final decision, I'm like, how did you...
Why did you think this? How is this your best idea?
Yeah, like it's bad. There was one guy, I brought some screenshots with me to share with you guys. So we can start with him. But the first message wasn't too bad. It was just, hey, where's our first date going to be?
Okay.
And I mean...
Simple.
Yeah, straight to the point. I also like it when people like, they don't mess... It's like, okay, I want to meet you in person. I want to just Snapchat for a couple days and then stop talking to
That's
you.
That's huge, yeah.
So this one guy said that. I said, I don't know, you tell me. And he just goes, I'm thinking TJ Maxx.
What? What are you gonna do at TJ Maxx?
I know. I'm like, that has to be a joke, but there's like a period at the end. So I'm
it seems
like,
kind of serious.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, haha, why TJ Maxx? You know, thinking he's like gonna put a pickup line or something, and like a lot of people
it's
do
like a
something
play
weird.
to it.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, he was just like, they just have really good deals, and
I mean, it's true.
So was he like gonna take you on like shopping, like pay for clothes for you, or he
don't think he was gonna pay for me. I don't remember what his job was. He's unmatched me since then. But yeah, he just wanted to go to TJ Maxx together.
It's just a good place.
I mean, but if you have to be very attractive to initiate a date that starts in like those like bright white like store lightings, you know what I mean? Like that lighting is not flattering. Like you have to be very fine to be confident in that store.
Or else you're gonna look like trash at the date.
Yeah, like I'm gonna see every single zit on your face from like 2 miles away.
And I'm not going on a second date.
Yeah.
Leaving early on the first one.
Yeah. It's also just, I mean, I guess I could see shopping as like a good like first date because you'd see something, you have like conversation to build off of. But I'm just not sure TJ Maxx is like
is
the
the
most
place.
Yeah,
Maybe like Nordstrom's or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
like let's go
thrifting
downtown.
or something.
Oh yeah,
'cause-
thrifting is fun too.
That'd be cool.
That's my Tinder bio right now. It's just if you
Maybe
can-
that's why he thought that.
No, it was way before. My Tinder bio before used to be only swipe right if you have, or if you are or have ever been a hacky sack pro.
That's funny.
I had to change that though because there's a lot of weird like sack jokes that I would get, and I just meant it to be
Classic.
like an innocent little thing.
Yeah.
Everyone makes everything dirty on Tinder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you talked to him for a while and then he just unmatched you?
No,
or?
I realized he was serious about TJ Maxx, I stopped replying.
You're like, all right, I'm done.
I was like, I don't think we need to go any further.
Yeah.
I see what you mean though. Like guys are just thinking of everything they can, and that's the best he can come up with. Like,
it's bad. Like, here, let's look up some other ones. Hey, gorgeous, are you a toaster? Because a bath with you sounds like a ticket to heaven.
What?
Look, is it like electrocute you?
That's like gory. Holy crap!
So gory. Here's another toast one. Damn, you're so hot that if you ate bread, you'd poop out toast.
Dude, that's so weird because girls don't even poop either.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
the
we
weirdest
don't.
thing.
So that's like he must really not know how to talk to girls.
He really doesn't get it.
Yeah, he must not know that about girls.
What a noob,
No.
man. So like those, did you reply to those or do you
No,
just
I
give
just
those the R
screenshot
bomb?
them and just move on.
Just show all. Okay, guys. So if you say something dumb, she's showing all of her friends.
Oh, I post them on my Finsta. And
Do you
it's like a thing
block
I
out the
have-
names or
No.
just?
I have like 80 followers on there. Like, they're fine.
It's fine. If you match
No
with
one's gonna see
Jalen,
it.
don't message him.
Be very careful.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
you might
Watch your
get some
back.
publicity out there.
That's true. Like we
Yeah.
said, any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's actually not.
She disagreed. That's crazy.
Do you have
though.
any like stories from in person with them?
Yeah,
or-
like if you
Yeah.
do meet up with them.
Yeah. I think my favorite one right now is I met up with this guy. I don't know if I kind of want to plug him a little bit. So we'll start at the beginning. So he had messaged me. He's like, we should get donuts sometime. And I was down. So we got each other's Snapchat and stuff. And he was like, hey, like it'd been a week or something. He's like,
Right.
hey, I'm like going back to visit Utah for a while. Like this Friday, do you think like we could get those donuts like sometime this week? So we
Like
set
before
it
he
up.
leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we set it up. Some safety tips for girls. I always insist to drive, like always insist. And this guy was just like, he's like, no, I love my car. Like I really want to like just
Show off his car, kind of
Yeah.
maybe. Do
Yeah,
you know what he
so-
drove?
No. And it
Okay.
wasn't anything special, but he really loved the car like
Apparently.
so much. So I could not convince him to let me drive. And so he comes and like picks me up and he's like dressed pretty nice. He has like a cool vibe going on. I get in the car and he's like, so yeah, I'm not the best driver. Like,
What?
good luck if we even make it back to your apartment.
You're like, why did he want to drive so bad then?
Yeah, so
especially?
that's exactly what I said. I was like, we're still near, like, let's just take my car.
Right.
I'm a good driver. Like, I would much rather drive you. He, like, refused. So I was like, okay.
What?
Like, so then I was like, where are you going? Or, like, where are we going to get these donuts? Like, we really had no plan going
It
into
was
this.
just donuts.
Yeah, so he was like, obviously Krispy Kreme, but I live
Obviously.
on...
That's like far too.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
I would have gotten Hello Sugar. I feel like that's a way better date.
And that's that's exactly what I thought. So I was like, interesting. Not gonna. He seemed very passionate about his like Krispy Kreme, and I was like, I'm not gonna judge.
Right.
So we went. He started driving. Almost entered on an exit ramp.
So he wasn't
He was
joking.
I
I thought the bad driving thing might be like a joke or like a, but he was just straight up.
No.
He
It
walked
was-
the
I-
walk.
Yeah, I was scared the entire time. He
Wow.
was like cutting people off, like not looking, changing. I was like, oh, I'm actually gonna die. Like I should not. I should have.
Why did I get in this car?
Yeah, I made so many like different directions where I was like, no, I'm gonna drive, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere close to my apartment. None of those things panned out.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, so we get the donuts, and then I'm like, he's like, oh, where should we go? eat. I was like, oh, let's go to a park because this is also like kind of right when things started opening back up.
Yeah, you can't eat there, really.
Yeah, you couldn't eat inside, and it's Krispy Kreme. Like,
why would you want to?
Yeah, there's like children running around with snotty noses and stuff. It's not also not romantic.
Not a good, good date vibe.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, there's a park near my house. Let's just go there. Then we're close. Like when you need to drop me off or whatever.
Right.
So we go to this park. It's like going fine so far. Like, we're just chatting, and I bring up like TikTok. I'm like, oh, are you on TikTok? And he's like, oh my gosh, you're on TikTok? Can I show you one of my TikToks? And I was like, yeah, dude, like I would love to see one of your TikToks. That sounds great. So he's like pulling it up, and I'm like, I wonder what he would want to show me, like so bad.
Right.
And he's like,
very adamant about stuff.
Yeah, and he's very adamant about stuff, and he was like, okay, like just you can't judge me for this. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know you. Like, we just met.
I'm judging you this whole time.
Yeah. But so he shows me this TikTok, and it's him and his horses, and he's in a Speedo with goggles on.
Interesting.
And he is just pouring cans of beans all over himself.
What's his TikTok? Shout him out.
Yeah, so shout out Daniel Facer.
Okay.
That name sounds familiar.
He went to Meade.
I might know this kid.
He was a band kid at
Daniel.
Meade. He's a year older than us.
I want to look him up. I feel like I might know this guy.
Here, I have the TikTok ready.
Oh yeah, just
locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. Let's go. Do you know what instrument he played?
No, I have no idea.
Daniel, dude, that sounds so familiar.
I mean, I'm sure he told me, but it wasn't the saxophone, and that's all I'm like.
That's all you care about.
Yeah. Oh, I have no service
So
here
did you like the TikTok, or were you what was
I
your
had
thoughts
no
about
idea
it?
what to say.
I'm watching it right now.
It's strange. Like it's and I mean,
this deserves to go viral.
Well,
honestly.
yeah,
It's
it honestly
good?
does. Well, it's just very entertaining, but I didn't know what to say. Like I had just met this guy, and like that just wasn't. He didn't preface this with like it's super weird. Like it was just like, oh, don't
you thought
judge
maybe
me.
it was like a dance or like some normal TikTok
or
thing.
or like some sort of I don't even know what it could have been. Like it could have been like you guys how you like. Could have been like you showing someone like your video or something like that.
Right.
Like
not pouring beans on yourself.
Yeah, like
does he have a lot of followers?
Naked.
Like
no, he had. So I checked before this podcast because I wanted to be updated, but he has 88 followers.
Okay.
So, but he needs to go more viral. Like Beans TikTok. I don't know. Are you guys on like the Beans side of TikTok at all?
I don't really,
watch
TikTok.
it
we
at
just
all.
make them.
Yeah. So then later, like a month later, I ended up on Beans TikTok, which is just like exactly what it sounds like. It's just beans, like.
It's like people pouring, just a ton of people pouring beans on themselves?
No, it's just like them cooking beans and like opening beans. It's very like mundane, but for some reason it's just like a cool thing to be like part of Beans TikTok. So then I was like, okay, maybe that was his test to me. Like, are you on Beans TikTok?
Like, are you about it?
Yeah, like how are you going to react to my Bean TikTok?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's like, this is gonna be what decides if I'm into you, if you like the beans.
So maybe he was testing you more than you were testing him.
And that's what I thought about later. I was like, oh man, like I thought I was judging him the whole time
pulled
on
that
the
reverse card.
Yeah, he really did. Like I was questioning myself for like a month after this date, and he's still in Utah now, so there's probably not a second date in the future.
Right.
Yeah, based on how everything went. Because then after that, so he said he was going back to Utah. I was like, oh, what are you going back there for? And he was like, oh, I go to BYU. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like thinking in the back of my mind, like, oh my God, is he a Mormon?
He is Mormon.
He definitely is.
Yeah,
dude, I really know this guy's.
Yeah. But so I'm atheist. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, like that's.
This isn't gonna work.
Yeah, this is not going well so far.
Literally
So
two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
Mormons are like hardcore.
Yeah, but then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna ask because I feel like some people, like if you're like from Utah, you like just. Like, I just don't want to like, make assumptions.
Them. Yeah.
So I'm not going to be that person. So then we're talking about like traveling and stuff. I was like, where's the coolest place you've been?
His mission trip.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I don't think this will work out. We had a good time together and stuff, but I was like, yep, there's no future.
Did he go somewhere cool for his mission?
It was somewhere in South America.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it was a pretty cool place. Like, I know someone right now that's on their mission trip in Salt Lake City because of the travel ban.
No, that sucks. That really sucks.
So useless.
Yeah, honestly. Dude, I was just in Salt Lake and Provo, where BYU is, like a week ago. and it's just Mormon everywhere. Like I even saw a store, and it was called like the Missionary Outlet or something. And like on the on like the windows of the store, they had like you know how they have like pictures of stuff. There was like bike helmets and like they're like suits and stuff.
Oh my god,
everything a missionary wears.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. And they're like, there's so many like pop shops over there. Like they don't have like breweries; they have like soda
bar lounges. Interesting.
It's
well,
so
no,
interesting.
I didn't even think Mormons could drink soda though. Yeah, they can't have caffeine. I don't think
it must be like decaf somehow.
It's like a juice bar.
I know that the caffeine thing. Not all Mormons follow that.
Oh really?
But alcohol, I
think is a huge no.
Yeah.
And even in Utah, they have like huge like alcohol like restrictions too. Like you can't have above a certain percent. You can't be open like super late.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Totally, it's totally like that too. Because when we were there, my buddy, he went to hang out with a girl, and he like thought he was like getting it. It was a Tinder thing.
Yeah.
And
why are the Mormons on Tinder? I thought they were supposed to.
Yeah, that is true too. Actually. That is kind of weird.
I thought they were supposed to be like set up by their parents, or or at least like if you're looking for other Mormons, like disclose that.
Yeah. What?
Like,
put that in your freaking bio.
You have to marry another Mormon, basically.
Or else you're like disowned.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to I'm not part of the, but I don't
Mormons
think you're supposed to casually date either. I know.
yeah, you're like supposed to date for marriage.
Yeah.
Which I mean that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
you're supposed to marry other Mormons.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, and she turned out to be Mormon too.
Yeah.
And it's just it really, people say like about Utah being full of Mormons, but it's not. It's just how it is. Like it actually is true.
It's just weird how that works out too. Like,
yeah.
Why are they all in Utah?
So did you tell him that you were atheist?
No, I was just like, oh, well, I might have. I was like, oh, so you're Mormon, and then we kind of talked about that a little bit, and then yeah. I don't think I disclosed it because I feel like that's super off-putting for a Mormon to be.
Oh, yeah.
Or he would like probably try to like convert you.
Yeah. Normally I don't say like I'm atheist. I'll say like, oh, I'm not really religious, you know.
Yeah, so it's not as like blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you have any other favorite stories in person?
Let's see. There was also, so if you guys will have to follow my Finsta because I post all this on there. But so,
I think I follow it.
Yeah, so there's this guy that I call Chef Boy. And so he's a chef in Spokane. Like I won't disclose the place or anything because this one was not good. But we were talking for a while, and this was like, I think it was like January or something. I had like the worst cold of my life. I ended up getting a sinus infection. I just felt like so like crappy for so long. And so we were like talking, and he was really trying to like get me to go on a date. And I was like, honestly, I just feel really sick and stuff. Yeah. And he was being pretty pushy about it. We ended up like going out a few times. And then there was this one time where we were supposed to hang out one night, but he works at a restaurant and he's like the head chef there. So he he has to close every single night. So he's there till like 11 or something like that. And he was like, oh, tonight I think I can get off at 9 and we can like, you know, go like get a drink or something like that. And I was like, okay, I mean, if it's like 9, then yeah, but if not, let's just do something tomorrow, because he had like the day off the next day. I was like, let's just do something tomorrow instead. And he was so pushy that night and just like ended up calling me. Like I could tell he was like hammered. And I was like, yeah, I just don't really want to like do that today. Like I'm really sick. I was also house sitting that day, so I had to be there for like the dog that I was house sitting for. Like I couldn't like be out super late. Like she just got nervous when people were gone. But he ended up like telling me he wasn't drunk, and then also like saying like, all my friends are telling me that you friend zoned me. And I'm like, I don't like know where you're getting that. Like I am trying to hang out with you tomorrow. It's just because I don't want to hang out with you at like 11:30 at night. Like that's weird. We just met. Like I'm not going to do that. Yeah. He was like, and I'm not. I was like, let's just talk about it tomorrow when you're sober too, because you're wasted right now.
Obviously hammered.
And then he was like, I'm not drunk. And then I hear him throwing up.
No.
Over the phone.
Oh my god.
Imagine if you would have gone, like what you would have walked into.
I don't know.
You would have turned right back around and left.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I was just disgusted. So I hung up, and then I like texted him, and I was like, okay, let's talk tomorrow when you're sober. And he's like, how do you know that I'm drunk? And I was like,
I heard you
forget
puking.
that you just puked in a bucket on speakerphone? Like,
That is wild.
So then we just stopped talking, or I stopped talking to him past that, and I was like, "Hey, I'm getting bad vibes from you. Basically, I don't think we're compatible. Like, I think we should just move on for both of our interests." And still to this day, like, I had to block him on everything. Like, he wouldn't stop texting and calling me. He recently got a new number, and then started texting me and calling me from there. So
imagine he got a new number just so he could hit you up.
That's honestly what I think. Like, he's crazy. Like, he's actually crazy. So I'm glad that, like, I don't know.
I can't imagine being like that. Like, that's crazy.
No.
So, and you told him, like, yo, this isn't going to work out? Or did you just didn't even just ghost him?
No, I didn't. Because
that was even really good of you. Most people would just ghost them.
Yeah, no. And, like, I always do that, especially if I've, like, already, like, gone on a date with someone. I'll just say, like, hey, like, I, like, thank you for taking me out or whatever, but I just don't really think we're compatible. But, like, if you ever want to, like, hang out as friends, like, I didn't say that to him because I was getting bad vibes.
Because then there's the friend zone.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that to him.
No, I was just like, I have no interest in, like, continuing this. Like, I'm getting weird vibes from you and stuff. He also, I just remembered this. So we had been talking for, like, a few days, and he asked me to hang out one day. I was like, oh, that's my birthday. So, like, I'm going to have dinner with my family. He's like, oh, my gosh, it's your birthday? And I was like, yeah. And he knew where I worked because it's on my social media. So he's like, would you mind if I sent you something? Like, and wouldn't really disclose what it was. And I was like, I would rather you didn't because I work with my dad. So
yeah, that's a little, especially since it's like a random guy.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care like talking to my dad about stuff, but I mean, I just started talking to you. Like, maybe you don't
want to cry wolf and bring him to your parents until you're serious.
Yeah. So, then, like, the day of, he, like, just ended up sending it to me anyways. And
no.
I just feel like that's another, like, manipulative sign.
Yeah,
where he was
really
like,
pushy.
Yeah, and he wanted, like, everyone to know that he existed, I feel like he wanted my coworkers to know.
What did he send you?
He sent me, a box of, like, pastries from this, like, French place called Me Flavor.
It's, like, nice, but it's just too much.
Yeah, it was nice, and when he told me, like, I had it coming, I, like, messaged like our front desk person. I was like, there's gonna be a box coming, like, please do not like
make a big deal out of it.
Don't say anything. Like, I told him not to send it here and he did it.
That's
like,
so wild to me.
Yeah.
What do you find that guys being pushy and like pursuing you heavy is better, or guys kind of making you pursue them? Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, people want what they can't have.
Yeah.
Is my philosophy.
Yeah. See, I don't really know how I feel. I don't think you should be pushy. Like, I mean, there's just certain times where I, like, you know, there's just, like, a few things and I'm like, okay, like, after I've had them on Snapchat for a couple days and I've seen their stories, I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure about this anymore. So I feel like you shouldn't be too pushy. I feel like you just have to feed off each other. It has to be, like, mutual.
Kind of
like,
just feel the vibes.
Yeah, like, definitely, like, I guess, like, go after in the beginning. Like, I would say, like, if you're a guy, like, just, like, set up a date. It's almost like...
it's so much better just to meet in person.
Yeah, it's like being, like, almost like being a salesperson. Like, you want to set that date and time that you're gonna, like, actually, like, meet with them. And then you don't get stuck, like, over, like, text and stuff. Because I'll, like, send texts that sound super dry and then I look like a bitch. But I'm really not.
Or, like, that you're not interested at all. Or
yeah, and it just comes off the wrong way. So I think that just, like, I don't even, like, message them a bunch. Just be like, hey, like, when are you free this week?
Yeah,
and it like, it just goes so much better that way. Like, that's the only dates that I've been on is when I haven't had, like, several days to talk to them first.
Because then if you do, I feel like it just kind of, like, fizzles out. And then you just kind of...
Yeah, and it's like,
or
what
do
you
gets
even
friend
talk about?
zoney.
Yeah, it gets weird and it gets too casual, too.
Yeah, you're not going to, like, get to know somebody over Snapchat.
Yeah.
You have to actually hang out with somebody.
Yeah, definitely. Other tips for girls, though, which I definitely want to bring up, is a safety thing. So I'm talking about how I'm, like, you know, going in this car with some guy, but I always make it clear to the guy that I have friends tracking my location at all times. So, like, when I get in the car with the guy, I'm like, oh, I just have to text my friend really quick and let him know that you picked me up. And, you know, they'll probably ask, like, oh, why are you? And I'm like, oh, they have me on Find My Friends. Like, they just care about my safety and stuff.
Super smart.
Yeah. You just let them know so they don't, like, you know,
they don't think they can just
weird.
drive into the woods or some crap. Like.
Yeah, like, let them know that you're, like...
on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, if you try anything, like, my friends and family will know, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving them the minute-by-minute update.
Like, it's not going to work, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good, though. Any other safety tips?
Driving your own car?
Yeah, I would say, like, I definitely regret, like, going in the car with that one guy. Like, I would not recommend that. Like, of what I would just say, like, meet up somewhere. Like, don't even get in the situation where you have to, like, share a car. Like,
yeah, that's smart.
Because then, too, like, say it went bad and then you have to drive home with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That would be terrible. That's like,
have you ever been in that situation where it went bad?
No. But, like, this is, like, a whole nother level. So, my boyfriend, like, freshman year of college that I brought back to Spokane for a week, like, he, like, visited you guys, like, went to our New Year's party and stuff. It didn't, like, his trip did not go well, and he was there for a week.
Oh,
like, by the first day, so he, like, I was going to pick him up at the airport, and his flight was an hour late, so I was sitting at the airport for an hour, and he didn't tell me that his flight got delayed.
So you're just like,
yeah, so
did
I'm just
I miss
sitting
him
there, and
or
I'm
like
no, and like my texts aren't going through, so I'm like, he's obviously still in the air, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder what's going on. I'm thinking they're just like circling, you know, like there's something going on in the air, you know.
Yeah.
And so he gets in my car. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like, it's an hour later or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, it got delayed, but I was just like busy listening to my music, and
so I didn't tell you.
Yeah,
so then
like,
you're already pissed like right away.
So I'm like, okay, like, and I was like helping Dylan like decorate for New Year's and stuff like that. So I had stuff to be doing that day, and then. So I told him to, I was like, oh, we're dressing up. Like, it's like, you know, a fancy like New Year's party and stuff. Like, just bring something nice. So he gets in my car. He's like, by the way, is there anywhere I can go like shopping? Like, I didn't bring anything like to wear to. I'm like,
I told you to.
I'm like, you're coming from Seattle. Like, you should not be doing your shopping in Spokane.
Yeah.
That's
what a guy.
So that's just how it started. But the whole week it went bad. Like, he was staying in my room like for the whole time. And like 2 days into it, I was like, I'm gonna sleep with my mom the rest of the week because I just.
It was that bad?
Yeah.
What happened?
What was happening?
So he was like trashing my living room. So I told him. So he wanted to stay for 2 weeks, and I was like, that's too much. Like that. Yeah. That's
how
just
long
a
were
lot.
you guys together before this?
A couple months, like I want to say like 3 months.
Okay.
Was he fine in Seattle? Like,
yeah, and all my friends like loved him. Like we were all like just super close with him and stuff like that. Like there was no indication that he was gonna act this way.
Like stay in your like dorm rooms or together over there?
Well, he was in a frat and I was in a sorority.
Oh, so you never really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like. I mean, you can stay at the frat, it's just like not like you're in like a porch with like 30 other guys.
Right. And same with the sorority.
Yeah, and the sorority guys are not allowed on the second floor at all.
Right.
Like they can only come in like your living room and like kitchen area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but basically, like, so I had to work because he was there for a week and I was like paying for my school and stuff. I was like, I can't take off a whole week of work. Like, this is the only time I get is like during breaks and stuff. Because I was still working at like the restaurant in Spokane. And so while I was at work, I was like, just feel free to take anything like from the pantry or whatever. Like, my mom stocked up on some snacks for you. And so like, he was like just hanging out in the basement for the most part. And my sister's bathroom is in the basement. She's like huge germaphobe. So I was like, please just don't use her bathroom. Like, she gets weirded out by that. It's just like a thing. Like, just go upstairs really quick. He never did that. He also trashed my basement with wrappers. He walked in on my sister at one point. Thankfully, she was fully clothed and just like washing her hands or whatever. But like walked in on her in the bathroom and then didn't even say like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. He was just like, hey, can I use the bathroom for a sec? Like,
and like, that's the one bathroom he wasn't supposed to go
Yeah,
into.
exactly. Like the one time, like, yeah.
What?
So then we had to take the same flight home. And I was just like, the whole entire, like by like the second day of this week, I was just like pissed off the entire time.
How did
like,
he react to you staying in your mom's room? Was he like
he had
pissed,
he was just like, oh yeah, no, like
whatever.
Yeah, because I like he was just like, oh yeah, like I know how you miss your mom, like whatever, like
yeah,
so much that you want to sleep with her.
Yeah, and the entire time home, he had no idea. So we like fly,
he's just clueless that anything's wrong.
We fly home and like get on like the train together to like go back to campus, and I'm just fuming and I'm trying to figure out like, when do I even do it? Like, this is so awkward. We have to travel home together. Like, you're stuck with me. Like, it was like day 2 and I was like, I just want to send him home, like, but I can't just ask him to like buy a new plane ticket. Like, that's too expensive. Like, we're college students. So we're on the train back and he like it stopped for a second and he like lost his balance and almost fell on a stroller. And if I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I did not mean to do that. He just like looks at the kid and like looks at me and he's like, you want to fight? Like, what the fuck? And I like look at the mom and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Sorry about him.
And I'm like, why don't you go sit down? Or like something like that, where I was just like, and he had no, like, I could just feel my face getting red the entire way home.
Yeah. So
we like get off the train. He's like, so who should order the Uber, like you or me?
You like get your own Uber, buddy?
Yeah, no, I was like, actually, I'm gonna be taking a separate Uber from you, and just like went off on him, and it was just it was so awkward too, because then he just sat there and he's like, okay, and I was like, do you have anything to say about all that? And he's
about
like,
anything?
And he's just like, I'm sorry, I guess. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then we had to just like stand on like 20 feet apart,
waiting for your Ubers.
Waiting for our Ubers to show up.
You guys are just like peeking at each other. Like,
so I know, it was like, and I was just still fuming, and I just didn't know.
Didn't even,
he was like, just, you were like pissed, and he was probably just like,
he's like, damn, that's
like clueless.
And then
I gotta get my own Uber now.
Yeah, and then I get back to the sorority, and like I was moving in with my like new fam, because like you switch rooms every quarter, and like I had gotten my big, so then you live with your big the next quarter. And she had gotten me like a Christmas present over winter break. So I walk in and she has a teddy bear with his shirt on the teddy bear and a picture of his face taped to the teddy bear. She was like, Merry Christmas. And I was like,
throw that away.
Can we burn that? Because I have some stuff
Funny
to tell
story.
you. Yeah.
That is wild.
Have you talked since?
Yeah, we're still like cool now.
Really?
Surprisingly, like, yeah, he's in like one of my favorite frats. I actually lived in his frat over the summer.
What frat is it?
It's Phi Psi.
Oh, okay.
Phi Kappa Psi, yeah.
That's wild, though.
Yeah, I love all the guys in the frat. I still like, I mean, I don't like Snapchat him or whatever, but like when we're at parties together, we talk.
Yeah,
and
like it's cash.
Chill. Yeah, it's chill.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Best case scenario.
Well, you just found out you can't be living with him in the future. So there's no.
Dude, that's like a key thing, though. I feel like people, like Mormons, don't live with each other until they're married.
And you can
but what if that happens?
Yeah, you can hide that. So like, I feel like, I mean, I'm a disaster. You guys like probably going to my apartment can tell that. But if I really wanted to hide it, like I could hide it from someone up
at least
until
for like a week or something.
Yeah. No, I feel like you could hide it forever.
Yeah,
like, if I really wanted to, if you weren't living with me, I would be so strategic about it. Like.
This room was a disaster before you guys got here, and now it's decently clean. So
this is Dayton's bedroom/studio.
Yep.
For now,
we'll be upgrading next podcast. Actually,
really?
For one podcast, and then we're back here.
And then we'll be back there after a while. Though.
Yeah, in a little bit.
Where's there? Where are you going?
It's just this building downtown. It's actually Rachel's brother's office.
Oh, cool.
We have Rachel in the audience tonight. Rachel, could we get some studio clapping?
Now some studio laughing.
And some studio crying.
Poor Rachel.
Still hasn't beat Troy.
Yeah, Rachel's Troy like, this is why I'm not coming on the podcast, because you guys suck.
Troy is still the audience champion.
Yep.
So you gave some advice for girls. What is your advice for guys in the first message?
Okay, I would say I have more advice, maybe not as the first message, because I've seen like different people react different ways. I think it just depends on how you vibe, but on your pictures are so important. Like there's like plenty of guys out there where I'm like, oh, this guy's like kind of cute, like I'm vibing with this, and then the last one is like some weird meme about like a girl's ass, and
we told Troy not to put a meme in his Tinder.
Yeah. No, literally I swipe left every time. I'm like, why would you do that? You just ruined it. You ruined it right there.
Yeah, okay, so that's good. Profile tips.
Yeah, so I would say I've heard mixed things about having girls in your profile. I feel like if you have pictures with like girls that are your friends, like that's fine. Don't put a picture in that's like obviously you and a girl that you had like a thing with or used to date, and then you just scribble out their face.
That's
Don't
weird.
do that.
That's so weird.
I didn't think that guys would put pictures with girls in general.
I've heard mixed things about it. I think it depends. Like if I see girls in someone's profile, I like that because it means that he can get along with girls and like he.
I guess that makes sense.
He seems like cool or whatever, but it's only if you're posting it like that, like this is like my friends. Yeah. It's like
maybe more than one girl.
Yeah. More than one girl, and like have a picture where it's like you and your guys and a couple girls. Like there's also some pictures where it's like a guy like sitting with like his arms up around like 3 like girls in bathing suits, and I'm like,
you're like, bro.
Okay, yeah, why don't you just go back to them then? Like you obviously don't need me.
Yeah, seriously.
That's funny. He's like trying to prove that he can like get girls.
It's like his cousins. He's like, will you guys just be in this picture for me?
It's for my Tinder bio.
It's so funny too, because there've been multiple times where like I've seen it's just like a guy and like a single girl, and I'm like, oh, why would you put like a picture of like you and your ex on there? And then I scroll down to his bio and he says, that's my sister. Like that's like all that's in their bio is just that's my sister. Or it's like a picture of him and like a baby, and he's like, not my kid. Like I know what you're gonna ask.
They do need to clarify that though.
That one is a huge thing.
You would think that it is, you know.
No, on that topic, so there was this one guy that I'm on Hinge too. I'm just not on there as much, but I matched with him, this one guy, and so normally like whenever I see a guy that's like in the army or like something like that, I just kind of swipe left because I'm like, that's just not a lifestyle that I want to get into right now. Like, and I just know that there are plenty of girls out there that see that and they're like, oh my gosh, like a man in uniform, like they think that that's like amazing. So I'm like, I'm gonna leave them for like.
Because you're not about it, so let them have it. Yeah.
But there was this one guy that was just really attractive. So I was like, oh, I'm going to give it a shot. And like 3 messages in, so he, like, some people will ask, like, what are you doing on here? Which is valid. Like,
what are you looking for?
Yeah. Like, I've had guys that are like, honestly, I'm just looking for something casual. And like, I appreciate that because I'm like, okay, now I know. Like,
the honesty.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. So this guy was like, oh, what are you on here for? I like said whatever. And then he was like, I was like, what about you? And he's like, well, I mean, I'm going through a divorce right now.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you're 20 years old.
That's a military thing, though, I feel like.
Yeah. It's like the one time I like gave a military guy a chance. He's going through a divorce. At 20 years old, I'm like.
That is crazy. Holy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what kind of pictures do you like to see? Other than
good lighting.
Shane's trying to find out.
Yeah.
I don't have it, bro. I don't even have it. I'm trying to help
like
all of our fans.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what?
No, but I would say good lighting is like huge. Like I see so many guys where it's just like, I don't know, like some random picture and they're like standing like in front of their window with the light coming in the back. I can't even see your face.
Or like they have the TJ Maxx lighting like you were talking about.
Oh my gosh, I should have looked at that guy's profile and saw if he had a TJ Maxx picture. I would say it depends on your age. So if you're like 18 or 19, like I know that there's guys out there that are on there like at that age, like maybe you can include your senior picture, but I feel like when you hit 20,
get that off of there.
Don't have your senior picture anymore. And don't have it be obviously your senior picture. Like there's a couple guys on there that are like they're like models, which I'm like I wouldn't. I'm not really sure. But they'll like disclose that, so then you're like, okay, that's why they have professional photos on here. But if if it's been 2 years and the only pictures you have are like you like senior year of high school, you probably are not that fun and doing that much stuff.
If you're not getting totally.
And the first one has to be just you. The amount of guys that I can't figure out.
You're like, which one is it?
Literally. I'm like, I'll be scrolling through and I'm like, I can't figure out which one you are. And it
probably comes off as like underconfident.
Yeah. Well, and 99% of the time, like, no offense to these guys, but they're the least attractive ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then they're attractive friends.
And I feel like they're almost trying to like they know what they're doing. But just be upfront about it. Like everyone has different like tastes. Like just show what you look like.
Yeah. Just be you.
First one has to be like just you, and like nice lighting and stuff like that. And then the ones after that, I would say like show you doing something active.
Yeah,
like
something fun.
Even though I'm not like super active, I don't want to like be going for a guy that like literally never leaves his house, you know?
Right.
Like even if it's like showing you like at a bar or something like that, at least I know you like leave your house.
Literally anything.
Yeah. And then I would say like just show that you have friends. Like if it's just you, like even if your friends don't want to be on your Tinder, like just like
Throw it in there.
Just do it anyways, or like blur them out or something. But if your friends are like weirded out about being on Tinder, maybe you need to like talk to them. Like,
come on, guys, help me out.
Just saying about I have
They're
friends.
Not true
I promise I have
friends. What about bios? Like, okay, so on my hockey team, a lot of the boys on the road try to get like road kills, you know. And so in their bio, they'll always put amateur porn star.
I've seen it work.
See, that's
what I feel like I feel like pictures, there's like a guideline for what you should have on there. Like it should be like, what are you interested in? Especially if this is a huge one, like rave guys. Like all they want to do is rave. So put a picture of you rave, like at a rave on there.
You want to attract people that like the same things as you.
Yeah. So just put like pictures are pretty streamlined, but bios, like I just like see so many different things, and there's things that like are huge turnoffs for me. Like if they say something about like something that's like so explicit, it's it's a huge turnoff at the very beginning because I just get like, I don't know, like harassment vibes, you know?
Like this guy's gonna be sketch.
Yeah. So I would say no to that. Like honestly, I mean, I'm so bad at like bios. Like my bio is terrible, but I don't know. Just make it funny too. Don't say, and don't be passive aggressive. So the chef boy, I saw him later on Tinder because he had unmatched me, but it like will cycle through and show him again. He changed his bio to be like, Spokane girls suck, prove me wrong. And I like, yeah, that'll draw him in. Like,
Hey, I suck.
Reel him in with like hate speech.
Literally.
I would say don't do that because
Do you think that bio is because of you?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, it probably is.
It is 100% about me because it was not like that before.
Dang.
Yeah. What are some other ones I'm trying to think of? I would say like don't be so like everyone on Tinder is like, I love to cook and I love the outdoors.
Stuff. Yeah.
And I really like my family. Like
like you need to stand out kind of.
Yeah. Like just say something funny too. Like if it's just like a joke or something. I mean, don't have it be like a basic cheesy joke, but say something that's like a little bit witty. Like
totally.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Dayton, what's something witty? Go.
I have nothing.
Maybe that could be your bio. Just say, I have nothing.
No, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What percentage? Okay, so what would you say like good? Like what percentage of guys do you swipe right on? Like is there actually decent guys?
So it goes, I feel like it's like a total like bell curve. So you get on and you're like expecting to find like, you know, like the hidden like gems of Spokane. So you're like, oh, no. Right. And then you're seeing all these ugly guys like for a little bit. So then you see an average guy and you're like, oh, swipe right. Average, and then all of a sudden you're like swiping right all the time again. And then the messages start coming in and you're like, and you open up the profile again, and then you're like, "Oh my God, why did I like?" I need to reel it back a second. So then it's like, then you get more picky.
Be a little more picky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like kind of a bell. It just depends on how long you're sitting there on it. Like if you sit on there too long, like anything goes. Like
you'll start. Anything is a right.
Yeah.
Are they pretty similar, Hinge and Tinder? I've never even heard of Hinge.
So Hinge, I feel like is a lot better if you're trying, like Tinder is good for if you're trying to date or if you're trying to just like look for hookups. Hinge is definitely like if you're trying to date. So it's like you have pictures, but then you have prompts. So it's like one of my things on there is like, I'll introduce you to my family if ... and then you like fill in the answer, and then like my thing is like if you agree to not tell them where we met, even though like funny, my family doesn't care, like it's just like kind of like a funny thing, like right I'll introduce.
Totally. It's just fun.
Yeah, but then it really weeds out like the bland guys because like they'll do that same prompt and then they'll say if we get along for a good amount of time, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Valid, but like I'm not interested in you. Like that's not interesting like, buddy, whatsoever. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but so it does prompts. You also have to disclose like your like whether you like smoke like nicotine or you like smoke weed or if you drink, like what side of like the political spectrum you're on, what your like religious affiliation is, and like stuff like that.
So
like
you
some
like
of that
know a lot more about them right away when you see their profile.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so I'll like if I see like conservative, like you can either do liberal, conservative, or moderate. So like moderate liberal, like I'll take, but I just know I don't really have an interest in like dating someone that's like straight up conservative. Like I'll get along with someone just fine, but I have no interest in dating them. So it just helps in that aspect a lot. Like you get to know the person a lot
and
more.
You can weed it out more.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
One thing that I do want to bring up, please do not put a fish picture on your Tinder.
I've seen stuff about that, like on Instagram or something.
Yeah, don't put a fish on your Tinder unless it's the biggest fish I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like so impressed. Like unless you went to Alaska and caught a 40-pound halibut, like I don't want
I'm not impressed about your smallmouth bass, buddy.
It's a really strange thing. I'm like, I guess maybe that's the only picture you have. Like that's the only accomplishment that you would have a reason to take a picture, but stop it. Like,
what if somebody like as a joke posted like a tiny little like bluegill? Would you find that funny, or would you be like, buddy, get the fish out of here?
I think that would be funny. Like, and especially, I feel like you have to make it more obvious that it's a joke because
totally.
I mean, it's like the TJ Maxx situation where like I would assume that's a joke, and then like it just wasn't. So now I'm like. You have to be a little bit more. Yeah, you have to be a little bit more direct at the very beginning until you like can feel someone out.
Yeah, totally. That's funny though.
Yeah, I feel like put in your bio like, what do you think of my fish? Like,
something like, to make it.
Yeah, like make it obvious that you know that's. Yeah.
What is it? The same kind of thing? Say like hunting pictures. They put a picture like with a deer they got or something.
Oh my god!
Is that cringe too?
Don't. It's just gore. Like, I mean, I guess there are some girls that would see that and like,
man, that gets his own food.
Some like country girls.
Yeah.
Maybe, that's what I look like.
Maybe just don't make it so gory. I don't know.
I guess you want to attract the girls that. Like if you are into hunting, you'd want to attract a girl that's like, oh wow, you hunt?
Because you spend like, I mean, when it's hunting season, like you spend your whole
life
doing that, and you spend like, you're just like doing it with people too. So I wouldn't say that's like a huge no. Like it's definitely like a swipe left for me
to you,
but like you probably want to find a certain type of person.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just wouldn't make it too gory because nobody like
wants to see like a bloody dead animal.
Yeah, like a just mutilated animal. Like please don't do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Has there been any fish that impressed you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Maybe I did kind of say it weird. I feel like I meant it as literal as possible.
There's none that I can like that has like struck me so hard that when you asked that it like
that one salmon.
You haven't caught any big fish.
I feel like it's like with me like my
little
grandpa.
Fish inspo.
Yeah, like my grandpa's like a huge fisherman and he would go to Alaska all the time. So there's pictures all over his house with like these huge fish and like that's cool. Like if you have that on there, then but I've never seen that. I've never seen someone that has just like this big ass fish that's like so impressive to me.
That's so funny. Like if I caught a shark or something, I'd put it on there.
Yeah, no, definitely do that. Like that would be pretty cool. Or maybe if it was like a super like exotic fish or something.
What about like a stingray?
I mean, that would be interesting. I don't know. You're going way too deep into
the fish thing.
Yeah. No, but they're it's funny how common it is. Like me and my friends over quarantine, we did this one like drinking game one night where we all went on our laptops and like shared our screen on each of our like Tinders.
Oh, okay.
And we had a list of things that you had to drink for, and one of them was like drink if someone's holding a fish.
And it was like really common.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me another one. Cars. It's one thing. If you're like posing with your car, you're proud of it, it's a cool car, whatever, don't just put a picture of your car on there. Like no girl, like there's like one girl out there that like actually cares that much about your car.
Small percentage.
Yeah. And I feel like these guys are like not looking like the car guys are the ones that are not looking for life partners either. Like they're
car guys are just trying to get it.
They're on there very casually, so like maybe leave out the car picture.
Because you're
like,
just throwing yourself under the bus.
Yeah, it's bad. So that's another one. It was like if you see someone that like had like a WSU thing on.
Oh gosh.
Like
or like frat stuff maybe or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think it was like if someone super liked you, then you take a shot or something like that.
Does that happen a lot?
It depends. I feel like in Seattle, I got super liked a little less, maybe. But I don't know.
Maybe because like there's more girls there.
Yeah. That's another thing, though, that I do want to bring up. Super likes make me really uncomfortable. And I've talked to other girls that when they get a super like, it's like almost immediately swipe left because
it's just too much.
It feels weird. Like it's like, oh, you like looked at my pictures and you were like so invested that you like wasted like I don't know. It's just like it just gives me weird vibes.
Do you only have a certain amount of super likes or something?
Yeah, I think you only have a certain amount per day. I've never like super liked someone because it also just comes across as like kind of desperate too.
They're like needy.
It's kind of the thing that Shane was saying about being pushy versus being, like,
or like over pursuing and like because I feel like you need to have a like push pull of like playing hard to get too.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to show you that you're interested, but also that you're not just like like you're not just like there for it.
Yeah. I also feel like people need to learn to take rejection a little bit easier.
Yeah.
There's one guy that I gave him my number and then he I have my number connected to my Snapchat. So he added me on Snapchat too. And he he just sent me a couple Snapchats that like the selfie was just weird. Like, you know, when you just like, you can't really like pinpoint one thing, but you just kind of get weird.
Something's just off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like his angles were super weird. Like he was taking it from like really high up and like
he was hiding something.
No, it was just like, why did you think that was like a good picture to take? Like it was just like concerning that he thought that like way up here with like his eyes like looking up was like a good picture to take. So
it's like a mom like getting on Instagram or something.
Yeah. So then he was just like, I think one time I like opened a Snapchat and didn't respond to it right away because I like started a meeting or something.
He hit you with a double snap.
Yeah, he was like, oh, no reply. So then at that point I was like, no reply ever again.
You said that?
No, I just thought that in my mind.
Totally.
So he would Snapchat me.
Because it's needy.
Yeah. He would Snapchat me, text me, and then go back to Snapchat. And it got to the point where he went back to Hinge and messaged me.
Ooh,
and
so that's a blockable offense.
Yeah. I was like, if you like, do you really think my number and my Snapchat are just not working?
Yeah, like I'm obviously seeing it.
Yeah, and I have my red receipts on. You can see that I've opened things on Snapchat.
Wow.
Like,
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Jeez. All right, well, I hope you guys learned something today about Tinder.
Yeah.
if you want to follow Jalen on Instagram.
Yeah, give them your ads.
Oh, yeah. So most of my social media is just Jalen Ann. So JalenAnn. DM me with those Tinder questions. I'll literally make your guys' profiles for you. I've done that with people before.
That's funny.
Shane, show them the RoommateTV hat.
Oh, yeah. Also, guys, we we just got merch. So it'll be out soon. We got these hats for now. They're super good quality.
Turn to the right. Yeah, they're like trucker hats.
Got the mesh in the back.
Hats. Yeah, the mesh.
Keep
they
you
look
nice
good
and
backwards
cool.
Too. Mm-hmm. They'll be out soon. Also, we're gonna get dad hats soon and t-shirts as well. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, thanks for tuning in again. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Like and subscribe.